Film is a young art compared to arts like literature, painting, theatre. It has been born for less than 2 centuries, but very quickly movies have become closer to our lives. So today we will talk about life with 5 movies. Who directed Wild Strawberries?
Looking back on the past, one may think that the time has gone by without realizing it, like a dream seen at night. If you really think about it, what you have done, said, and thought in that past time has made you who you are today. Then, when compared with the present time, the past is not just an empty place. In Bergman's movie Wild Strawberries, we can see a reminiscence of a man who is in one corner of his life in this way. When referring to the reason behind writing Wild Strawberries, the great Swedish filmmaker Bergman says that he wrote the script with an incident that reminded him of the house he grew up in during his childhood. Everyone, not just Bergman, has a great bond with nostalgic memories of the past. Looking back now, even a small thing that was thought to be insignificant in the past has somehow contributed to shaping this moment in our life. With some incident, Isaac, a Swedish professor aged 78 years old, begins to remember the past of his life. A garden decorated with wildflowers, a green shade, a cold breeze blowing, a garden with wild strawberry bushes, a girl with a beautiful smile like a flower. It is from these things that the world of dreamy memories awakened by the old man is formed. Wild Strawberries is a life story based on these dreams and his family, including his wife and children in the present. Victor Sjöström, a pioneer director and actor of Swedish cinema, plays the role of old Isaac. It is said that he was actually 78 years old when the films were shot. One of Bergman's dreams is to have Victor, a unique character in his country cinema, contribute to a film. Bergman realizes that dream through Wild Strawberries. This age is a difficult time for someone to work hard. That's why the film has been shot very slowly so that Victor doesn't feel too tired. We do not see Victor acting in this film. He lives in Isaac. Victor and Isaac are not two but become one. Bergman's skill as a director is to bring out the character he wants from a man who is in the last half of his life after working as much as possible for the cinema. Wild Strawberries is highly praised by film critics for the visual beauty of the cinematography in addition to acting. Especially in the dreamy scenes, the strangeness of the camera's work becomes clear. The final scene of the film is also very special. Bergman says that it is the most beautiful scene he took in his life. The film has come this far and finally culminates with that scene. That's why the last frame is not just another scene, but it brings out the depth of the entire meaning of the film. But this film is not without critics who respond critically. This film is often criticized due to its puzzling nature, which cannot be understood. Wild Strawberries has become one of the greatest masterpieces in the history of cinema because of its subtle performances, camera and image reconstruction, and the quality of bringing out the deeper meaning of life. Within the subject of cinema, the character Bergman is named as a great filmmaker because he is a person who is dedicated to this kind of high artistic and meaningful creation.
What is The Broker movie about?
Blood is thicker than water, that's what we usually say. It means that no relationship is stronger than blood ties. But if you have seen the films of Japanese filmmaker Koreeda, you will doubtless think twice about the truth of this saying. Because Koreeda's movies always focus on the strong human relationships between men, women, and children whose lives have gone wild due to various socio-economic problems. If you don't know about Koreeda yet, I recommend watching some like Our Little Sister, Nobody Knows, Still Walking, Sharplifters. His latest film, released in 2022, also includes an interesting story based on his usual topic. This year, instead of Japanese culture, he chose the neighboring country of Korea. Anyone who has seen Koreeda's movies knows what kind of rhythm is in those movies. Koreeda often does not disclose the story in detail to the viewer. Therefore, a viewer should be prepared to pay a lot of attention to it. The other thing is that those movies flow slowly without much excitement. That's why a lot of restraint and patience is required to watch these movies. But the return for these things that a viewer spends is a feeling that cannot be expressed in words. That's what cinema is for. The movie Broker is based on the concept called baby box. There is a small box called a baby box somewhere. If the mother is not able to adopt the newborn child, she can come anonymously and put the child inside the baby box. After that, those who keep the baby box will legally hand over that child to another couple who wants to adopt it. The story of this movie revolves around two friends who volunteer at a baby box run by a church in Korea. What these two do is to take some of the children who are given to the baby box home illegally and sell them to get money. One day, these two see that there is a note written on a child who is being brought like this. "I will come back" is written like that. There is no doubt that this means that the child's mother is coming back to take the child. But without thinking about it, the two friends took the child home. At the moment when they are ready to find someone to buy the child, the mother actually comes looking for the child. She is a very young girl who does not understand much about anything. Two friends who turn to an illegal business due to economic hardship, a girl who went wild without knowing anything about life, an innocent baby who knows nothing. These four strangers who met by chance, how is the fate of their lives written? Song Kang-ho, who plays the role of a friend in this film, will win the Best Actor award at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival. If you are familiar with Korean cinema, there is no way you don't know him. He starred in many of the best Korean movies recently: Parasite, A Taxi Driver, The Host, Memories of Murder, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. If you haven't experienced Korea's very slow and heartfelt cinema yet, we would say that Broker is a good place to start.
What is the summary of the Outfit 2022 movie about?
In the 1940s and 50s, Chicago was known as the crime city in the United States. Italian mafia organizations, Irish mobs were very active based in Chicago. Sometimes even the law could not suppress them. If you have seen the movie Godfather, you can understand well about these mafia organizations. Here, in this kind of background, a tailor from London, England starts a new clothing store in the middle of Chicago. This guy is no ordinary tailor. An experienced tailor with 50 years of experience in the field. So what kind of people come to this tailor shop? Yes, running a business in the middle of the city without clashing with a mob is definitely a bit difficult in Chicago. An Irish group will take a small part of this gentleman's tailor shop for their work. Mr. Taylor also lets them do whatever they want and continues his work. But one day something unexpected happens and Mr. Taylor falls into big trouble. Will our tailor be able to solve this dispute without getting shot by the thugs and save his life by using the subtle intelligence used to cut a dress and draw plans? Anyone who loves the classics of the 40s 50s can recommend this, and especially for thriller fans, this is a film that should not be missed. We would like to recommend The Outfit as a film that provides a good crime thriller cinema experience with an unexpected ending.
Swiss Army Man, what kind of movie is this?
Hank has a crush on a girl very strongly. But Hank is afraid to tell her what's on his mind. Because of this fear, Hank keeps his love in his heart and suffers, and as a result, Hank runs away from his normal life and goes into the wild. There, Hank loses the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. At last, when he is tired of everything and tries to end his life, he sees someone's dead body. At the same time, Hank changes the idea of suicide and starts talking to the dead body. After a while, he discovers that the corpse is alive. This dead man has no knowledge of the world because he is a dead man even if he comes back to life. That's why Hank tells him everything from the beginning. One day, the dead man flipped over a magazine Hank had and pointed to some pictures in it, asking who the girls were. From there, the story starts to change a lot. It is said that the name Hank Thompson is used because of the role of Tom Hanks in the movie Castaway, which is about a man who gets lost on a deserted island. Also, references to many other movies can be seen in this Swiss Army Man movie. Swiss Army Man is the work of two directors, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, who made the movie Everything, Everywhere All at Once, which was very popular this year. After the Harry Potter film series, Daniel Radcliffe presents a remarkable performance in Swiss Army Man. Getting to play a dead body may be an important moment in Daniel Radcliffe's acting life, and we can see another amazing performance by Paul Dano, who is a rising actor of the new generation in Hollywood. You may remember that Paul Dano played the role of the Riddler in the Batman movie that was released this year. When talking about Swiss Army Man, it is impossible not to say anything about the music of this film. The music has been created to suit the light entertainment nature of the film. Andy Hull, who himself works as the music director of the film.
What is the movie Frances Ha about?
There are some people who do not grow up no matter how much they say. Can you stay like this all the time? So no matter how much their relatives and friends tell them that it would be better if they find a good job and get married, they don't care about these things. It is true. To live, you have to do some job. Love is needed in life. But does anyone get it as soon as they say it? Don't we have dreams? In life, we should choose something that we can do happily from the heart. Otherwise, no matter what you get, is there any point in betraying your soul? Isn't this messy, crazy life better than staying in places where you can't agree with your mind? People who are used to thinking like that and live their lives according to it are usually considered as a separate category of people in the society. But if you do a little research, you will see the real human heart underneath the chaos that is visible on the surface of those lives. The film Frances Ha is also correct if it is said to be a commentary on such life. Usually, when young people in American society start to feel like they can do something they want, they leave their parents and find their own life. Frances is a 27-year-old girl who lives such a free life. Frances lives with Sophie, who has been her best friend since childhood. Even though it is a free life, it is not an easy life. Frances' dream is to become a dancer. If you cannot build a proper professional status, it will be difficult to live with the financial difficulties. Frances is still single. Although almost all of her friends have boyfriends and girlfriends, Frances has no love other than her friend. Although a free-spirited character, Frances is very sensitive when it comes to topics like love. This messy lifestyle of hers is portrayed in the movie Frances Ha. Frances Ha is a black and white film. Directed and written by Noah Baumbach. The famous film Marriage Story, which received Oscar nominations in 2019, is also his work. The most striking thing in the film is the character of Frances. The role of Frances is played by Greta Gerwig, who recently made films like Lady Bird and Little Women. Frances Ha is scripted by Noah and Greta. Even then, these two are tied to each other by marriage.